Okay, I can begin because if I hinted that I'm already here, we can as well begin. Hi, I'm Paweł. I'm back. Well, it's not that I was gone for very long, but most probably, as most of you actually know, in the morning, actually yesterday in the evening, my Google account and my YouTube channel was hacked. As the result, unfortunately, nothing really was lost. Although the attacker had access to my YouTube channel for like 8 hours. I don't think I lost any data. I don't think I lost any emails. I don't think I lost anything. I even don't think that the attacker was able to send any messages or mess around with stuff. Mainly because some time ago I kinda stopped using Google for majority of the stuff, so this is, I think, a good thing. We're gonna talk about that slightly later, because this is actually a cool story. This is a cool story, but we will not begin with this one because I have to keep you waiting. If this is one of the best cool stories ever, then you know. By the way, this was not the first time, and it's something I own was hacked, and I had to do stuff to recover from from the hack itself. So let's say I'm used to it. And who wants to buy some passwords? Passwords or password hashes? Not exactly the same. Tugedal, thank you very much for 50 Norwegian Corona's donation. That's super cool. And the question for the no auto-tune for quads in the future. No, unfortunately not. I was working on the auto-tune for the quads last year. However, the project kinda got stopped because of the few things that were happening, and I do not have anything to report on that. So unfortunately not. But auto-tune for quads is kinda much harder than the auto-tune for the airplanes, because airplane will basically keep itself stable during the tuning. Well, the quad will not, so this is kind of like auto-tune is dead. 61 FPV, maybe not dead, but the fact that nobody really made a working auto-tune solution yet kind of makes you think that maybe this is not that obvious and that simple to pull off. Anyhow, because we are here, so let's see what's happening in the chat. And we have the question from the Quadkenstein. Which one works better, a coaxial X8 or 8-motor quadcopter tanks? In terms of the efficiency, the raw efficiency of the motors, most probably the 8 motor, 8 arms, 8 motors will work better. But it's not guaranteed that it will actually fly longer because you have to have 8 arms. So that kind of adds weight. And also the limitation of the 8 motors on 8 arms, each like not X8 configuration, is that, well, the arms have to be pretty long. Not only there has to be a lot of them, but if you just try to put 8 motors around the center base of anything, you will quickly discover that the arms really have to be long because the propellers are there. So for the majority of the cases, really the 8, just the octacopter, not X8, is just kind of not practical. If you go with 8 motors but the coaxial with only 4 arms, it turns out that everything is smaller, more compact and lighter and flies as well. Because what you lose most probably on the propeller efficiency, you kind of gain because the whole contraption weighs much less. Wait a second. This is just an example of the X8 quadcopter, pretty compact build, compact freight, everything nicely packed inside. Flies amazing. Really, this is the most stable flying drone I ever had, which is crazy because arms are aluminum and this is not like something super fancy, but flies just wonderfully. Absolutely wonderfully. So just X8 is just like much more practical to use. So that's that. Mr. Hagi, thank you very much. Yeah, no Elon Musk talking about the Bitcoin this time. On the other hand, I think I'm running the YouTube channel on the completely wrong topic, because I do like crazy stuff, trying to interest you into visiting my channel and listening to what I talk about, and I get like 100,000 views monthly. This bloke that hacked my account and started streaming this recorded stream got 75,000 views in 8 hours. So imagine how much more interest in the world there is about the Elon Musk and the stream and the Bitcoin than about the RC and FPV drones. So I most probably chosen bad hobby, really. I should have been Elon Musk. That might have been something interesting. Mr. Hagi, Francesco, hello, good evening. Bertel FPV, Terry Fritz, hello, Terry Fritz from Tasmania. Oh, Tasmania is far. Not only New Zealand is far, but go to Tasmania from the New Zealand and it's even further away. Like I said, 611 FPV. No, I'm not interested in password hashes. They are useless. Alex FPV, hey. Pop Gorg, I know that if you will use WTF, is you move the OSD, you also the top line from the DJI Googles screen. I'm sorry, but I don't understand this sentence. I'm sorry very much. I think you meant that there is something... Yeah, there's extra line? Possible. Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna talk about the WTFOS later, especially in the context of this thing and the Inav support, because this is kind of interesting stuff, which most probably works. I have not rooted any of my hardware yet, mostly because of the time, because I have no time yet to do so because of the things that are happening around. So, you know, static motion, this is my own build, this is my Pirx lifter. One day I will make the plans for this thing public. One day, not yet. Or actually, I will make the carbon parts, milled carbon parts available to buy from places. But the arms, you will have to cut them by yourself. I'm flying this thing since the January this year. Really like the best flying drone I ever owned. Amazing, amazing, amazing how stable this thing is in the air, and because the arms are made from aluminium, they are super cheap, quite stiff, easy to replace, and you can easily adjust this frame to 7, 8 or even 10-inch props. Absolutely no problem. I would not go with 12-inch props. On the other hand, why? The frame itself should no problem accept 12-inch props. But the 10s, absolutely no problem. Mr. Hagi, 99% of the views were bots. Who knows? Maybe. On the other hand, I lost during the accident like almost 200 subscribers. So at least some people unsubscribed from the channel. So yeah. Alex FPV flew my X8 today on the drift event. Really was amazing how performance the 2812 motors with the 8x4.5 and the 3 mers. Yes, the performance and the stability comes, I think, mostly from just a lot of moment of inertia, because this is not that easy to start the maneuver. So even if there is some disturbance in the... By the way, today we are drinking gin with tonic. I have to relax after this thing. Yeah, think that that was happening. So moment of inertia. This is just heavier and harder to move around. So I think this is one of the reasons that, well, those things really are super stable in the air, as long, of course, as you have powerful enough motors for them to be able to do what they are doing. So that was that. Anything that you think I should know about? Any news from the hobby? And no, let's not talk about WTFOS yet, because like I said, we're gonna talk about this thing separately. But have you heard about something interesting? Because I kinda haven't, if not counting the Foxeer 5-watt VTX and the news about Banggood, which is kinda interesting news about Banggood. Not sure if you heard it. So okay, and I will do this. I have a new lens. By the way, I have a new lens, and this lens is so wide. This is 8mm, and this is like, come on! I no longer feel the screen. I love the wide angle lenses. Really amazing stuff. Manual, heavy like hell, made in China. But kinda really works in a great to great. So, the news about Banggood is, and please do remember that this is absolutely unofficial news that I got from someone who got it from someone from China, is that the Banggood itself is on the verge of going under. Most probably the financial situation of the Banggood and the contracts with the actual suppliers of the goods is like the Banggood is just losing too much money, and the money in the bank account are going out, and it is actually very, 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 very possible that Banggood might go bankrupt soon. However, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is a rumor I heard from someone who heard from someone from China. So let's not really like believe and treat it as the holy truth, because it isn't. However, I'm not really surprised. Why I'm not surprised? Because since the COVID, and actually not only the COVID, but the middle of the 2021, when the European Union started to add the VAT on every package from China, the sales from Banggood just dropped, and I know that people basically stopped buying from China and from Banggood especially. And it was not very helpful that people started to complain about the customer support on Banggood, the availability, that nothing is ever in stock, you have to wait, and so on and so on and so on. On the other hand, Banggood contacted me recently and was kind of generous, no strings attached. Would you like something to review? Which is like first time in 2 years when they proposed anything for the review. And we will be doing on this channel review something from Banggood. This will be, by the way, the Runcam Thumb Pro, which kind of looks interesting. So on one hand, we have the rumor and the news that they are very close to going bankrupt. On the other hand, we have the kind of improvement in the relationship with the influencers and the people that get quite a lot of the traffic. So I don't know. I don't really know, but I'm not really surprised. Personally, I stopped buying from Banggood. And I know that a lot of people also stopped buying from Banggood. So maybe there is something really over there. How do you think? What do you think? What's your take on the Banggood? Are you still shopping in the Banggood, or have you switched to other suppliers, like local suppliers, or for example AliExpress or whatever? Please write in the comments on how your situation looks like right now. And now, this is the next video you should watch. I'm Paweł Spychalski, thank you very much for watching, and like always, happy flying! You see what I did over there? I recorded a video for the channel. That's why I really, really, really like doing live streams. Because if you play it right, you can record videos for the next week or two. Then you only have to edit them, and it takes like forever to do so. But at least I have a raw material. Right now I have like, I don't know, 10 videos that I have already recorded and are only waiting to be edited. But I cannot like really push myself to edit them, which kinda sucks. Which kind of really like, yeah, Yeah, Alex FPV, this is the Makey 8mm f2.8 for the micro four thirds. And unlike majority of the cheap lenses from China, this one is not cheap. For the price I paid for this, I could get the equivalent from the Panasonic Leica, also 9 or 8 millimeters, even brighter. This is on purely manual lens, no autofocus, no aperture, but this is bloody sharp. And this is optically corrected. This is optically corrected, so the straight lines are really straight lines, although it is such a wide view lens. So I really do like it. It's a big and chunky piece of the hardware, but works like love it, love it, love it. Comparing to my previous wide lens, which was 9mm from the Olympus, this one is much better, because this one is sharp everywhere, even in the corners. Olympus was not sharp in the edges, and even in the corners, and lack of the autofocus is not really a problem. Because this thing has such a wide focus that if you set it to 1 meter and close it to 5.6, it's sharp from 20 centimeters, maybe 40 centimeters, almost to infinity. And when you move the focus to 2 meters, it's like sharp everywhere. So really like fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. 7.5 Laowa. Oh, that's also kind of wide lens. By the way, I started loving wide lenses. Like years ago, I was very much into the tele, but no, wide lens is just better, because I don't know. I'm right now basically touching my lens, and you see how wide this thing is. Perfect for streaming. So let's quickly read what people are commenting about the Banggood itself. Search Tugedal says that search engine at Banggood is really bad. Yes, it is. It's really hard to find anything with this thing. Dennis Radur would buy from Banggood, but everything I need is out of stock. This is the excellent example of the situation of the Banggood. Everything is out of stock. Even when the Banggood contacted me to send me the Runcam thumb. By the way, this is really like this is like so tiny and plastic and cheap, but apparently works kind of nice. Yes, please, here we have samples, like tell us which one you want. I want this one. Oh, sorry, I cannot really send you this one because the samples are out, but no problem. Here is the gift card for the camera from our store, so just buy it and pay with the gift card. Okay, sure, why not? This works as well. So I paid with the gift card, and then had to wait 2.5 weeks until the camera was actually shipped. But it works, kind of. Anti-Gravity 82. Banggood is very cheap for the FPV in Germany. Well, is this still true? Because, yeah, by the way, I was shopping with the German FPV stores a few years ago. And if you subtract the VAT and the Zollamt fee from the stuff, it was not really that much more expensive locally. By the way, I was mostly buying in the N-Factory DE, because back then I was living all the time in Berlin, so that kind of makes sense. Up to also the the Flying Machine DE. They are from Berlin, by the way. But now, when there's really like Zollamt will take everything you ordered and will tell you to pay, I don't really think that this is that much of the argument, and you still have to wait 2 to 3 weeks at least. The Papa Noob, Banggood is still the best Chinese shop. However, I stopped daring there as well. Yeah, I mostly switched to AliExpress. I know that AliExpress is a platform, not really a shop, but I kind of switched to it because kind of like it's simpler to find stuff, and prices are also and definitely supply delays. Audio Geek also I'm not very happy. Mrugrysek, Ali is cheaper on many items. Runcam Tam Pro was better price on Banggood with coins and allowances. Yeah, okay. Mr. Hagi, here in the UK, buying from abroad has become troublesome. Well, it's your fault. It was your decision to go with the Brexit. I'm sorry, but that's just the reality. A lot of companies won't trade with the UK due to the government changing VAT, so the seller abroad has to charge VAT and pay it back to the UK. Yeah, exactly. Everything just got so much complicated for you when you left the European Union. Here in the European Union, it's complicated as well. Not really complicated, because the process is actually extremely slow. You just up to 150 euros, you pay VAT in China, and then the packet just arrives. And for stuff above that, you have to run the tax duties yourself, or actually pay the courier to run the tax duties. And the national post operator in Poland charges almost nothing for that, so you really only have to pay VAT. In case of the couriers, it's kind of usually more expensive. I usually pay between, I don't know, around 20 euros for a package worth of, I don't know, 100 bucks. So not perfect, but you know. Alex FPV can Runcam Thumb record logs for gyroflow. Yes, and apparently the Pro version fixed the gyroflow issue. And just the gyro traces on this camera are actually useful, not useless, but useful. I will try to check it out, maybe not tomorrow, but because tomorrow I'm going flying. This is something that's not really happening very often. I was one more time not flying for at least 2 weeks because of stuff that was happening. But Big Boost FPV says that the shipping is too high. They put the cost to the price, so it's not cheap. Nothing is cheap nowadays. Only the dollar. In 1 year, in Poland, the cost of the dollar went up by 25%. So everything is so bloody not complicated, just expensive. So yeah. Yeah, Mr. Hagi. Yeah, you did got screwed. You did got screwed, but come on, no, democracy, right? And who the fuck chose your previous prime minister? Oh, this bloke was so fantastic. I just really? He was almost as great as the Orange Man. Bitcoin is cheap. Yeah, just like the stock market in Russia, but it doesn't mean you have to buy it. No, the reality is that the war in the Ukraine cost me money. Serious money, by the way. Because I invested in places. And now the places were all not yeah. Yeah. So that was that. So the Banggood situation is as it is. Let's see how the situation will evolve and what's gonna happen with the Banggood next. But like I said, I would not really be too much surprised if the Banggood filed for the bankruptcy. By the way, filing for the bankruptcy is not exactly the same as closing the business. So those are two things that everybody have to understand, because the bankruptcy is only a simple term for the court announces that the company is unable to pay its debts. That means that the company no longer can make own financial decision. There is the commissary going into the company that tries to find what assets and pay the debts, and in general fix the situation. But it doesn't mean that the company stops working. It still can be working. However, then the priority is to pay the debts of the of everyone. Like the GearBest last year went bankrupt. And you know what? You can still buy at the GearBest. It doesn't mean you should, because most probably you shouldn't. But that's a completely different situation. Alex FPV, the one thing I liked about Banggood that sometimes they have shipping from Czech, 7 days delivery. Yes, they do, but also some of the sellers in the AliExpress have the same situation, 7 days delivery. So that's not really Banggood only. On the other hand, you can... you see what I did over there. On the other hand, I just ordered the softbox from AliExpress, and they guarantee the 10 days delivery. Let's see if they will do it. I hope they will do it, because it's a nice softbox. So maybe Big Boost FPV by Gazprom. I will not support the bastards, and I hope all the worst for them, to be honest. But that's a completely different situation. So yeah. And by the way, kudos for the Ukrainian military for doing what they are doing right now and like taking the country back. I really like. Kudos for you guys. And I saw some incredible drones you built over there. Like, wow. Yeah. You go there. And I know, and by the way, I know that some of the drones that are flying over Ukraine are powered with Inav. I know about that. Anyhow, we kind of got distracted slightly. So that's the situation. But there's something else I wanted to talk to you. And this is the... let's go to the Facebook. Oh man, this is a wide lens. This is such a wide lens. I love this lens so much. You can almost record the shorts, vertical video with... oh, you see some, let's say, private stuff. Foxeer RC Group. Some time ago, Foxeer announced that they will have... yeah, this thing. You see this thing? This is huge. This is the... they already released the Foxeer Extreme, I think, which is 2.5 watts, but now they went one step further and they want to, or they will release the 5 watt VTX. Of course, analog 5.8 gigahertz VTX. And although I'm kinda impressed that the Foxeer is willing to pull something like that off, I kinda have to say that, but why? And by the way, I know it was a meme the last time, so let me quickly record that. This one. But why? Yeah, exactly. But why? Fotoflieger, Dankeschön. Ja, I do. Ja, ich habe 14.000 Subscriber. Ja, okay. So yeah. Mr. Huggy, encryption is not required for that. Encryption is for something completely different. But that's well, okay, to some extent. If you would like to, let's say, interfere with the drone, the hijacking the link is most probably not really the best way to do it. And jamming is enough. And because there's always the jamming option, the truth is that it doesn't matter if you are encrypted or not. If there is a possibility that enemy can jam your drone, the option of having to fly this thing manually to the target makes absolutely no sense from the beginning. So either your link has to be resistant to jamming, or your link, or you do not have to rely on the link to get what you are doing. And this is why the automatic flights are actually what makes sense, not like manually guiding the missile. No. Why do you think like TOW missiles and other missiles are either the fire and forget? Not the missiles are either fire and forget when there is onboard computer that just takes care of the guiding, or they are wired. There is a thin wire that is used to drive the missile, so you cannot jam it. Not because the technology doesn't allow to have you wireless link, no, because you cannot jam that easily the wire that is between the missile and the launcher. That's the reason. Cadix, Audio Geek Cadix does not like to talk to me. At least Cadix themselves. They don't really like me. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. But let's go back to the Foxeer VTX, because this is why we started. And I'm really impressed. This looks like a chunky boy with a lot of heatsink on the top and a lot of heat sink on the bottom, and everything. I have, however, a few questions. How much current this thing actually pulls when it's in the 5 watt operation mode? Because assuming that it will be powered, let's say, by 5, maybe 10 volts. I doubt it will take more, and you would like to people like to put this kind of the stuff on the switch on their VTXs. How much current this pulls, and I bet it will be like total. It will be like 10-15 watts in total because of the losses. If you want to output 5 watts on the antenna, you have to get much more power from the everywhere. But how likely is it to overheat? I don't see any fan over there, and I would expect to see a fan over there, which might not really be a huge problem if, for example, you have this thing on the quad. So because during the flight, the quad usually, let's say, cools itself down because you do not have the walls in the quad, so you just fly and everything is fantastic. You have the airflow over this thing. But what if this is put inside of the foamy airplane? Oh man, this thing is gonna overheat and this thing is gonna melt through the foam. I know it. And on top of that, if they did it right, and I suppose they did it right because the Foxeer kind of usually makes things right, I bet that this has the overheat protection. And I bet that if you are not really cooling this thing very, very, very well, it very quickly goes from the 5 watts into like 25 milliwatts, and it's still so hot that you cannot really touch it. Audio Geek, maybe it's that big because it has its own back, but basically everything has own voltage stabilization circuits, every single one of them. Even if they are powered with 5 volts, they most probably have something, and if you have something like that can be powered up to 6S, it has to have it. But from what I know, the biggest problem and the biggest source of the heat in case of those things is not actually the voltage stabilization, but the RF part itself and the power amplifier over there, because the cost of boosting the power and having the huge PA at the output is that the PA will hit a lot. So unfortunately, that's the situation. So although I really have to say that Foxeer showed some cojones over here by building something and announcing something like this, I'm not really sure that this thing is very practical, because if you want to go twice as far, you have to put 4 times more power. So if you compare this with, let's say, 1 watt VTX, you can only go twice as far as with 1 watt VTX. So that's kind of the price you pay over there. Of course, but you can go twice as far, but also the problem of the antenna. Try to attach the purely tuned antenna to this, and I bet it will overheat and burn the power amplifier. Because you really, with such a powers, you really have to be very careful of careful on how well tuned of the antenna is and how much energy is reflected from the antenna and goes back into the power amplifier. So yeah, that might be interesting to see. And yeah, but they really that like show they have cojones. And by the way, this is absolutely illegal everywhere. There is no place in the world we can call this thing legal. Absolutely not. Nowhere in the world this is legal, unless there is just no rights at all and you do whatever you want. Maybe then. And I would like to know how really I would like to know how much current and how much watt amps this pulls from the battery itself, and maybe this is like half of the motor. Who knows? But Foxeer, good job. Too bad that you are no longer sending me any stuff, Foxeer. I liked when Foxeer was sending me stuff, but Foxeer now stopped sending me stuff. They have other friends now. Tech day every day. Hello. What else? I think 661 FPV. Yes, 5 watts. 5 watts of the output power. Crazy. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And now. The story that you all been waiting for. How my Google account, and my YouTube channel got hacked during the night. Oh, it's a beautiful story. With a lot of questions and actually very what the fuck questions of what the hell actually Google is thinking. So, what happened? Yesterday I went to bed kinda early because around 10 p.m. I was kind of feeling tired after the long week, so no problem with that. And woke up at 7:30 roundly, let's say something 7 a.m. to walk the dog. I went out with the dog, took my phone with me. I take my smartphone, start to read the emails, and I read. Two-factor authentication on your Google account has been disabled. Okay, what? The password on your Google account has been changed. What? The phone number associated with your Google account has been changed. What the fuck is happening over here? And finally, something about someone used the recovery code to log into your Google account. Oh fuck! And in this very moment, I knew that Houston, we have a problem because someone got access to my Google account. The YouTube channel, let's say at this moment, was the secondary thing, the Google account. The Google account was much more interesting thing because this is I have a lot of things connected to my Google account. Because I also take the security kinda seriously, I of course had the two-factor authentication on my Google account enabled. Because like I mentioned, the first email that I got was that MFA was disabled. Like, how? Anyhow, I also use the hardware U2F key to have like really top-notch security. If any website, any system accepts the hardware key, I use it. I even have not one, but I have the primary and the secondary key, and every important website I use, every important service I used is secured with the second factor authentication and those hardware keys. So, in theory, my account should be safe, because if you do not have access to the key or my phone, then kinda good luck getting access to logging into my account. However, turns out that the Google security protocols are kinda interesting. I think I know what happened. Actually, Joshua Bardwell kind of helped me to realize what happened, because originally I thought that something else happened, like my access token to the YouTube application got leaked, and someone made social attack on me to bump the permissions on the key, but most probably not. Most probably, I think I know even which email was that. But this was like kind of really strange. Anyhow, we will not be talking about that. Most probably session of my browser was hijacked. Somebody was able to inject me with the software that just hijacked the session of the browser, and the person who restored the session kind of pretended that it's working on my behalf, that it's me, that my PC is doing that, because the security log in the Google showed that I, from my own PC, although located in Russia, not in Poland, disabled the MFA and did all of that. So Russians, Russian hackers. Anyhow. So the first thing that I know that has to happen is I have to restore the access to my account. So password reset and recovery of the password. First option, send me the recovery key, but by the phone number. But the phone number is like not my phone number, so it of course never arrived. Luckily what happened, the Google kind of realized that something is going on, and Google disabled the account. And before the attacker was able to change the secondary email associated with the account. So instead of losing the and no, 12345 is not the good password. No, absolutely. By the way, I have different passwords for every service. I'm that advanced. So luckily, the attacker was not able to change the secondary email, so I got the recovery code from the secondary email. I will not tell you which email is that, because I don't want to really like give you too much of the information, but I was able to restore the access to the Google account pretty quickly and log into my, do the damage control. Have I sent any emails while I was not controlling my account? Are there any payment methods changed? Maybe my credit card numbers leaked. Maybe someone changed my accounts connected with that. Luckily not. There were not really absolutely any changes money oriented. Nobody really messed up with any of the financial information I have on my Google account. And definitely the main vector and the main target of the attack was the YouTube channel. And what they did with the YouTube channel, first of all, changed the name to something like investment, ARC investment, whatever. By the way, I think I already saw this name somewhere, so I bet I'm not the first one that got attacked like this. Disable the description of the channel, change the logo of the channel, remove everything from the home screen. And luckily for me, they only made every single video and live stream as a private. So luckily they have not deleted anything. They only changed the visibility of every single video, but not shorts. Not the relation, not posts, but only the videos and the live streams to private, and started streaming. Something about Elon Musk and the investments and all that crap that most probably a lot of you knew about this. So what I actually had to do today is to kill that live stream, upload the logo and everything connected with the YouTube channel, and make every single video on my channel of the almost 900 videos public again. Of course, bad changes. In the beginning, I was even checking every single video if they have not injected anything to the descriptions or anything like that. But no, they probably had no time to edit any of the videos. The only thing that they did is they changed the visibility and started streaming this Elon Musk investing in the Bitcoin crap. By the way, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get, because come on, I'm talking for 45 minutes and I have only 21 likes. That's kinda crazy. And I have 66 viewers watching, so hit the like button. So that was that. When it happened Central European time, 11 p.m. more or less, and tech day every day. No, I'm not from Legionowo. I'm like 500 kilometers from Legionowo, close to Szczecin. Yes, Dusty, it was yesterday, and the Corridor crew even released the video about this thing. Oh, I kinda... Let me quickly check Corridor crew, what the Corridor crew said about this, and maybe I will watch it. Animators React, paper like VFF Artics. Okay, I will try to. If you have the link, by the way, then please send me the link. I highly appreciate it. I would like to watch what others did about this. By the way, I only stopped like recovering the channel like at the 6 p.m. so 1 hour before the stream. So that was that. I think I know what happened. After really like thinking, I know what happened. A few weeks ago, I got the email from someone who was saying that they are working for DaVinci Resolve, Blackmagic Design, and they want me to have a sponsored video when I show like how I use DaVinci Resolve to edit my videos. This is fine because I use DaVinci Resolve to edit my videos, so that was not a problem. I was, yeah, okay, sure, let's see what happened, but first please let me know how other channels are doing that. What is the expected format of this video? Okay, sure, please, here are example videos. And they shared something with me. On the strange format I was unable to open, and I think that this is the crap that hijacked the session on the browser and give the attackers this crap. So yeah, that's exactly what kinda happened. Dusi 1974, yeah, ARC investment, something like that, exactly. Yes, this is most probably what happened and how happened. By the way, this is not the first time I'm kind of like tricked into like, this is not the first attack, because I'm getting like on the regular basis emails that someone shared a document with me, and the document is like the topic is that monetization update, or the process of like if the video okay, like Google account from a strange emails is sharing some document, but I'm not even opening those things because it doesn't make absolutely sense. So this is most probably what happened. Now, I, of course, fixed almost everything, like changed sessions everywhere. I changed password everywhere, like clean. So hopefully, I'm safe now. But, and do-it-yourself stuff, drop me an email when you will be going to Szczecin next time. You can find my email on the channel or not, so I can just spychalski@gmail.com. Drop me an email when you will be around. I can show you some nice places to fly. And because I work from home, I have a lot of time. So that was that. But what's the worst and really like scary part of this thing? The thing is, Google apparently allows you to turn off, very important, turn off two-factor authentication without requesting you to enter any two-factor authentication means. I owned every single one of my two-factor authentication. I owned, at least during the disabling of the 2FA. I owned the email. I was the one that had access to the email. And I never got the email with confirmation code. I owned the smartphone, I owned the phone number, and I owned the hardware keys. Yet, Google allowed to turn off the two-factor authentication without requesting, for example, the security code from the hardware key. Crazy. That is absolutely 100% not secure. Come on. If you want to disable the two-factor authentication, you have to enter two-factor authentication first, and it has to be one of those channels of the two-factor authentication that is not controlled by your account. So, assuming that attacker wanted to change the to disable two-factor authentication a Google account, Google should never absolutely allow anyone to disable it via, for example, the confirmation screen on the smartphone or with the email sent to account. The only things that would make sense in this case if Google requested the SMS code or this thing, or one-time security code printed one, but it never did. So there is a huge security flaw inside of the Google authentication. Not cool. Not absolutely cool. Luckily, I have the control again. So that's that. Audio Geek FPV, I reported ARC about 11 what? Hours ago? Or what? Because if this was 11 hours ago, then 11 hours ago I was not ARC investment. Because this happened only like at 11 p.m. and now we have 8 p.m. So it was like 10 hours ago, or maybe even slightly earlier. At least I hope you haven't reported. But Google knows that I had to recover my account. So I hope they will not close my channel, because that would be kinda suck. So yeah, the ARC investment channel that you saw in places was unfortunately me. But I hope that this night will come without stuff like that, and I will not have to recover my channel tomorrow again. But I changed all the passwords, all the session IDs, I cleaned up everything, uninstalled shitload of the software, so hopefully everything will be fine. Anti-Gravity 82, yes, that was the second time I got hacked. Last year my Amazon AWS account was hacked. The only good thing that came out of this that I'm not using the AWS anymore, because apparently I never had to. Because you might not know it, because you do not really have to have any server to have a website. I will show you something, by the way. This is beautiful. If you are into internets, I have, for example, this website. Like this website. You see, that's me over here. And I have some entries over here. Guess what? Turns out that you do not need any kind of the server. Any kind of the shared hosting even. This website I just showed you is hosted from the Cloudflare and GitHub. From those two places. Everything is, the files are on the GitHub. Every time I want to make some changes to the code of the website, I just commit something to the GitHub. And then the Cloudflare takes the code from the GitHub, puts it on its own CDN, and the website is automatically working. Free, works wonderfully, fast, and you do not really have to worry about hosting anything and worrying about stuff like that. So beautiful, 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 absolutely beautiful. RS thinks that he saw my stream feed. Yeah, most probably it was me. Elon Musk doing crap. That was my channel, unfortunately. Pit Buttons, thank you very much for 35 ZAR. This is the, I have no idea what ZAR. What's the currency? South African runs. So thank you very much for South 35, I'm sorry, South African runs. And can I recommend a budget FC for a wing that has connection for air unit? Well, unfortunately, there are no longer such a things as a budget flight controllers. Those times are long gone, and they are apparently not really coming back. Above $60, we probably can find something. We can even try checking something like that. AliExpress, not this one, by the way. So how much is... This is for the wing. Yes, exactly. This is for the wing. Matek F405 WMN. How much is WMN? But let's switch to dollars. So $70 for this. This is excellent, by the way, flight controller for the wing. You will connect everything to it. I rather do not suggest going with 411s because no, this will not really work. You might wait. I'm not sure if I can tell about this yet, but Diaton Mamba is planning something for the wing users. I'm waiting for the samples, and by the way, I'm building the Inav target for this thing. So not really, but I have not seen the hardware yet. This is like not here, and I don't know how much expensive will be that. In my opinion, like this is probably the best you can get. Matek F405 WMN, really like most probably best you can get. I wonder if this is right now Atom RC, not Atom RC. Atom RC F405. Have they put it on the market yet? No, I don't think they put it on the market yet. Apparently, what I have over here are still the pre-production samples. This is the Atom RC F405 Navi, which works with ArduPilot and Inav and Betaflight. And it's, you see, over here, should be... Excuse me for a second. So yeah, that was that. That was my wife, by the way. So the Atom RC F405 Navi, but apparently this thing is still not yet on the market. So that kinda is problematic. If not this, then you might go with some Omnibus F4. But like we proven the last week, Omnibus F4 is almost $60. You see, they are trying to sell Omnibus as F4 for $60. Really, my opinion is that the F405 WMN from Matek is really like the best you can get. This is not that much expensive, so I would get that. Oh, Matthias Kruniszczak, hello mate, it was a while. It was really, I haven't seen you for a while. So that's that. Yeah, go with the Matek. That's really like my professional advice. Go with Matek. Now, another thing is that we have a question from the Audio Geek, not geek. Have I played with ArduPilot? No, I have not played that much with the ArduPilot, and I would prefer not to. But my opinion is the best if you want to fly autonomous and you are ready to get the PhD while setting everything up. But Inav is catching up, by the way. Inav is catching up. And you know what? I have amazing news. Well, not really amazing news, but pretty good news. If you ask anyone, what's the biggest problem with the Inav? Everybody will say, oh, it's the horizon drift. It's drifting and it's bad because it's drifting and it's bad. Yeah, For the Inav 6, we have right now 2 separate pull requests that implement completely new artificial horizon. We have the indirect port of the artificial horizon from the Ardu pilot done by Julio. So we have a really good chance that this will be like the wow. And we also have the pull request from another developer that decided to add the centrifugal force compensation. And we have people testing this thing. We have people testing this thing for a few months, and they say that on the airplanes, the difference is just like, wow, this is purely amazing stuff. It's not drifting, like flying all the time in the straight line. Superb. However, there is still a teeny tiny problem that it does not work that great on the multi-rotors, and it also does not work that great if you do not have the GPS. If you do not have the GPS, then it's unfortunately still drifting. But on the other hand, if you do not have the GPS, then why do you care about the artificial horizon? So if we go to the Inav itself, so first we have the AHRS centrifugal force compensation by the Shota. And this is really like, oh, I have to click approve and run, by the way. Those are like the improvements to the current implementation, because like you see, only 3 files were changed. Impressive stuff, but not as good as some people say, as the new DCM HRS made by Julio Cesar Matias. This thing apparently is just bloody amazing. But if you like see how many files were changed, for example, that's the difference. And some examples of how the waypoints are handled without the new artificial horizon. You see the circles are not really circles, they rather look like something like that. But with the new HR8 artificial horizon, the circles are actually circles. And the straight lines are straight lines. So this is like, wow. However, like I mentioned, it's not yet ready because there are problems with the artificial horizon without the GPS. Let's see how it will work. Let's see what we can do. And let's see if the developer will be able to actually resolve those problems. Because if he does, the Inav is like... and even better. Matthias, thank you very much for the 25 Polish zloty super kind donation. Yeah. Oh, and Eric is here. Hello, Eric. Micra 10 FPV Cadix released the new camera. Walnut. What's my early opinion? I have no early opinion on that because Cadix is not talking to me. And because Cadix is not talking to me, I'm not giving opinions on their products. Cadix Walnut. Nuts combo. God, who makes the names for them? What the? This is the peanut. This is the hell. Cadix. Cadix FPV market products, digital system, analog system. Where's the Cadix Walnut? Oh, Caroline Tyler RC. Hello. And by the way, we're gonna talk about the WTF OS in just a minute. Because definitely we will be talking about that. So here's this thing. Okay. Teeny tiny thingy. Okay. How good is it? I, for example, like my peanut. Absolutely love the peanut. Paid for it with my own cash. And I love the peanut. I put it on my drones and it's like super cool. I don't think I will buy it. For me, because I kinda do not really have the need for another camera like this. So not. However, if someone will be willing to send me a unit, I will gladly make a review out of it. Anyhow, Doggo is upset. Yeah, the Doggo is upset because the Wi-Fi came back and the Doggo is so bloody happy. So, good that we have another camera. I'm actually happy that we're gonna have another camera because the more products and the more competition in the market means that we're gonna have the better everything. And taking a look at the kind of the problems of the RC and FP hobby, every company that actually believes in the hobby is a good news. Absolutely like that. Yeah, the dog. The crazy thing with the dogs, the smaller they get, the louder they are. Like really. By the way, have you seen my dog? If not, wait a second. So that's the doggo. That's the small doggo that is so loud that you can hear it barking, although the noise cancellation is down there. So, doggo, heyo. Yeah, so that's the dog. Pretty cool. Like, but okay, this stream is not about dogs. Let's talk about something that's really like important for the RC and FPV hobby. Let me put the dog down, by the way, so he can be doggo somewhere else. She, because it's a bitch. So that's that. You say Big Boost FPV? You can turn off the 2FA without entering any 2FA. That is fucking huge security problem. Because if anybody gets access to your PC, he can just disable the 2FA. And that's all. Like crazy. Even worse, if you have your own password stored inside of the Google and you disable the 2FA, you can get your password from the Google password reminder storage thingy. That's really like, whoa. That was crazy. RC Ritter FPV, am I good? Sure. Prost. Okay. Dusi 1974. I'm almost from Germany. Almost like that much. No, I work in Berlin. I live in Poland, like 5 kilometers from the German border. So, like, let's say I'm almost in Germany. Anyhow, Chris Archer 77. What do I think is the current Voxnail avatar after update is a good alternative to versus DJI FPV? I have no bloody idea because I don't have the avatar, so it's really hard to compare something that you don't have. The biggest advantage of the Voxnail was that you can have the canvas mode, which is not really a canvas mode, but MSP Displayport. And apparently it's even working with Inav now, at least in one of the test versions, because the issue actually was that there were no fonts in Inav. So they fixed it and now it kind of works and everything should be fantastic. But with the with the WTF, what the fuck, OS, no, well, from the top. With WTFOS, everything changes. Because what the WTF FPV team did, they kind of changed the game. No, and this is really like the ground changing and the game changer and the biggest change in the FPV for the very, very, very long time. Yes, the appearance of the walk snail avatar is a big thing because it kind of brought up the competition to the closed DJI FPV, the only digital really working FPV system. Because if you compare this to the HD0, it's kind of slightly different. And with the WTF OSD and the option to have the MSP Displayport, the canvas mode enabled, this is the game changer. And what's even better, apparently the process of converting your goggles, vistas and air units to this hacked version that allows you to have that is actually pretty simple and straightforward. Which I'm shocked that is, because apparently the security people on the DJI have not really did their best. However, RC Ritter FPV, thank you very much for your super kind donation. So, this is, like I said, the game changer. And what I'm talking about, if you have not heard yet, well, why? Because you really should. WTFOS. So, WTFOS is the, like the name says, is the framework for modifying the your DJI FPV goggles, V1s and the V2s, air units and vistas. And what you can do after actually hacking and routing your goggles and vistas is that you can install the MSP OSD, which is like the full-blown OSD, exactly like the analog, enabling live audio, auto start recording, and like right now, this is the fourth application of preventing the forced update of the firmware. But the best is that one. From the beginning, the MSP OSD application is compatible with Inav because they even took some time to write the section in their documentation that it works with Inav. And look how simple the setup for the Inav is. You do not have to do any CLI magic, just select HD0 VTX. And it's working. The only thing you have to do to have all the OSD characters working with the Inav firmware is you have to download the fonts from the configurator and upload the fonts to the goggles themselves, and you have the full-blown OSD inside of your goggles. Fantastic, outstanding, really like kudos for the FWT team for pulling something like that and for thinking about the Inav and the Ardu pilot from the beginning. Because what Foxeer did, they thought only about the beta flight. And trust me, beta flight is not really the only thing out there. So that's one. You also have the option to make your own fonts if you're feeling fancy, but just go with the standard Inav fonts. They are really like pretty amazing and offer you incredible set of features, and they are really nice fonts, by the way. But that's not all. Also, the process of right now hacking and routing the goggles and applying everything is relatively simple, because there is the configurator application that you just use to do everything. You do not have to do any special magic and like figuring out how to hack your Android device and stuff like that. Because if you don't know, the goggles and the units are working as the Android devices. They are Androids inside. And so that's really like, that's cool. I definitely will convert my fleet to WTFOS because I don't really believe that we ever gonna have the new goggles, not the goggles, the canvas mode from the DJI themselves. I don't really believe it. And this is really like something that I want to have because this is like super cool. Of course, I'm pretty sure that there can be some issues, but every issue, if you have developers that are willing to resolve something, can be resolved because this is how the software development works. So amazing, really, 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 really amazing. Not only for just pulling this thing off and hacking and implementing the MSP Displayport, but also for thinking not only about the beta flight for the beginning, because the beta flight, believe it or not, are not the only ones out there flying. Yeah, so amazing, really, like, yeah, super, super, super cool. So, Leslie, the Horizon Drift, yeah, let's still give it some time, because I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but the next release of the Inav 6, will probably not happen this year. I think that this will be like the early 2023. So it's better to, having everything like one after a time. But Skycam, I can get my voltage to read out of Inav. But what do you mean? What does it mean that you cannot read the voltage? You cannot read the voltage where? In the telemetry, in the OSD, in the Inav configurator? Have you connected everything? Kinda give us something to work with, because that's kinda nice. Abraham rooted and flashed the WTFOS about 2 weeks ago, and it's fucking awesome. I hope so. I really hope so. WTF crew also worked for the Kiss Ultra. I don't fly it by just saying. They are trying to be accessible for anyone who wants it. Just a super cool project from the super cool dudes. Yes, apparently yes. To be honest, after I first heard that they cracked the goggles, but then there was very, very quiet from their side. Nothing was happening really on the project. I fear that the project would die, but apparently it didn't. I was kind of like, really? They pulled this off and they have this thing running and it's operational and it's amazing? How cool is that? So that's cool. Other than Ham, what we need is someone with the niche expertise to work on removing the range limitation. That would, because if you don't know, the range limitation in case of the DJI is really like this is a deliberate decision. Because this is based on the flight time and the turn back of the packets. If they are just not coming back in the amount of time that is defined, the goggles say, okay, out of range. So that's that. The question is, however, if this is from the level of the goggles itself, or this is hidden somewhere deeper, because it's also possible that this is a piece of the actual hardware that does the transmission. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, so I will maybe just stop talking about stuff I don't know. Do it yourself stuff. I fly IMU. Switch to Inav. Because you know what? Inav is IMU internally with extra features. It's not really IMU internally, but Inav is much closer to IMU flight than to beta flight right now in terms of the pure acro performance. We have the Kalman, we have the Smith predictor, really like cool stuff. So maybe, oh gosh. Bożu mój Bożu. Ukryj użytkownika na kanale. Spam everywhere. It just works. Yeah, it does, but Inav also just works. And if somebody tells me that Inav setup is much more complex than Betaflight setup, I say bullshit. Really, honestly, I say bullshit. Because Inav is simpler to set up. There are less options that you can play with, and there are things that you don't really have to worry about. So that's my opinion. Igor, on Matek 8743, I see strange behavior when black box is on. Amount of GPS satellites drops. Strange. I don't see any correlation between the black box on and the GPS number of satellites, and I use H743 in like two of the quads you see over there. including this one, like the big one. And I never observed that, well, the amount of satellites is going down when the black box is enabled. I think that this is like, yeah. I really don't know. I don't know how to help you because I'm not sure if I can figure out why this thing is happening. So, but Cobra, nic, takie tam se gadam. Yeah, all the dating sites seems legit. Yes, exactly. On the other hand, I believe more those dating sites than the Polish government. Matthias, when the New Horizon will be merged, I have no idea yet. Because, like I mentioned before, there are two things. We have two separate implementations of the Horizon, new artificial horizon. The implementation now that is kind of like improvement on the current one is better, but not as good. And the second one still has some problem, especially when you are flying without the GPS. However, if you just want to fly it, then you can fly it. You can build it yourself. The code is already public, so you can no problem build it for the Inav 6 yourself. And there are people who are flying this thing already, so it's good. It's there. It's like it's working as long as you have the GPS enabled. So really like go there. If you want me to build you the firmware, just you know where to find me. I can build you this firmware. And you will be tested. The Mr. D, Darren Lines, is flying this. Blackest Tech is flying this. Bonafide Pirate is flying this. So there are people that are testing this code, and they say that it's bloody amazing. I was kind of disconnected from the project for the last few months, but come on, if they say that it's good, then I have to agree with them that it's good. So, that's how it goes. MS, the GPS signal, your GPS signal drops when you use the Firelight HD cameras. Yes. Yes, it's absolutely correct. You are 100% correct that this can happen. Why? Because what people do not know, or other do not, this is not a very often public knowledge, HD cameras are very noisy at around 1.2 gigahertz. And this is one of the same frequencies that unfortunately GPS uses. So when you enable any HD camera close to the GPS unit, most probably GPS unit will start to lose fix, or maybe even will not be able to get the fix in the first place. This is very, very, very important. Do-it-yourself stuff, I only fly Inav. Even doing flippity floppy around the tree with Inav, so it's absolutely possible. Cobra, go with Inav 5.1. Just go with 5.1 because, like I said, we don't know when the 6.0 will be out, and it will rather take more time than less. So go with it. Pablo Ruiz, question: with WTF routing DJI goggles, can Inav 5 show full OSD? Yes, and even we talked about this just a moment ago. What's the best part, the best thing about this? If you go to the MSP OSD repository, part of the project, and you scroll to the Inav setup, there is exactly set what you have to do for the Inav for this thing to work with Inav, and you only have to set it up like you are setting up the HD0, and apparently it works. Have not tested, and of course you have to upload the fonts, but it works, which is cool. By the way, I think I will have to propose the pull request. Yes, exactly. Let's do it. Let's propose a pull request. Let's make the modification of this thing because it's not Inav, it's Inav. Let me fork it. So we have this thing forked. Now let's go here. Yeah. Okay, it's not working like I think it would be working. So it's not enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. For enough. I really wish people stopped saying it's enough, because it's enough. Okay, where's the search next? How this thing works? How this thing works? For enough. I bet there has to be a better way of doing that. I bet. Okay, so we replace this everywhere. Commit changes, and I want to create a new branch. Enough. Bloody hell. What have I done? What have I done? Create a new branch. Enough. Enough. Update enough to enough as project is called. Yeah, lovely. Propose changes, and I cannot propose changes, so I think I did something. I think I did something wrong over here. Anyhow, this is not really important. Oh, I pushed the changes. Okay. Replace enough with enough. Just some semantics. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Create pull request. So we have a pull request to the and I'm officially the developer for that thing. By the way, because this thing is released under the GPL v3, if any of your changes got pushed into the GPL v3, you are officially becoming one of the developers of the project, and you kinda have the right to, let's say, be part of the project. That's stuff. That's lovely, fantastic stuff. By the way, let me quickly change something, because I noticed something with the... Right, I want to padding left. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's there. Yeah, better. Lovely, fantastic, superb, superb. The stream is getting better with every try. Blix band bits. While back pulled black box files from F405 SE 2 GB of files, and half were 0 kilobyte files. Emptied files and checked the new flights for fresh data, but black box files still 0 kilobytes. I would try with the different SD card, because it sounds like the flight controller was able to create the file, but then it's not storing anything. On the other hand, change with the different SD card. This might help. Also consider lowering the logging rate. If you have right now logging rate 1:1, switch to 1:2 or 1:4 and verify if this helped. If yes, then well, you have the reason. If not, then I'm not sure from the top of my head what can it be. But my first thought about the problem would be to try with the different SD card, because usually this is the problem of such a things. Quinton Clangston, is it easy to switch from Betaflight to Inav? Well, yes, I even have a video about this and only this topic, and this is not the like 20 minutes. Betaflight to Inav. Of course, some things are slightly different, but besides that, it's not really that much different apart. So if you are only willing to learn, then you should have absolutely no problem from switching from one to the other. But like I said, some things are different, and you just have to accept that. And I even think that Inav is a simpler right now flight controller software than the Betaflight, because there is just much less of the settings that you really have to worry about. In case of the Betaflight, you have to worry about everything. In case of Inav, really not, because most of the stuff is really happening in the guts of the firmware, and there is no need to modify those things at all. Sajinaker, if the Googles V2 is rooted, can you still use it to fly older DJI FPV drone? I have no bloody idea. I don't know, so I really don't I have no idea. Ezalku, yes we did. Yes we did talked about Banggood. Yet the news is that, well, I heard it from someone who heard it from someone that Banggood is on the verge of going bankrupt. But how accurate this information is, no really bloody idea. Bonafide Pirate, yes, you are late, but it's kind of nice to see you. By the way, can you share some experiences with the new HRRS from Julio? How good is it? Because people don't believe me that it's amazing. I have not tried it yet, but that's a completely different story. But I know that you've been flying this new code and you can say something about it. So please tell us something about this. Kirkirov, I have a question. Why does my Inav quadcopter lose control and just fall when I try to do a flip during the flight? No black box log. I have absolutely no idea what might that be. It might be basically everything. You might have faulty gyro, faulty accelerometer, the VTX browns out, the motor stalls, the ESC stalls. Without the black box log, there is no way to know what's going on. However, this is not a normal behavior. This is not happening to everyone, and this is somehow related to your build. But what is it? Without having the black box log, it's impossible to tell, because it might be absolutely anything. But as Skycam, thank you very much for your super kind $5 donation. And by the way, you fly Octas and get full OSD in my DJI goggle, even GPS info, but voltage reads 0 in the configurator tool and OSD using Radix 2. Okay. That means that it's not just not working, because if you cannot read it, then it means you kind of have a problem. On the other hand, please do realize that Radix is not officially supported by Inav. Radix never was interested in being officially supported by Inav, and we as the Inav project never really got any information about the Radix themselves. However, I'm pretty sure that if you try to talk to the customer support of the Radix, the Brain FPV, they can help you. But like I said, this flight controller is not officially supported by Inav. And this is the decision of the Brain FPV, by the way. They just decided, no, we don't want it. They are from time to time contributing to Inav. That's correct. They are proposing some codes, but never proposed the code for their flight controllers. However, let's see. Let me check what I would verify in the very beginning when I would have problems with the readings of the voltage with Inav. So I suppose over here you have the battery voltage 0, like I have right now. Okay, assuming that you have everything wired correctly and the voltage is connected to the proper pin on your Radix flight controller and everything is just great on the hardware side, assuming that everything is great on the hardware side. First of all, I would check if in the configuration you have battery and voltage monitoring enabled and that you have the battery voltage meter type set to ADC, not to none. And then leave everything by default. So row 1100, blah, 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 and leave it like that. If, however, you would like to try getting your voltage from the ESCs and you have the ESC telemetry wired, you can always switch to ESC, but assuming that we are talking about the analog setting, verify you have the battery monitoring enabled and ADC selected. Then let's go to the CLI and get ADC. There are channels for every flight controller that define which channel is used for what. Check if the VBAT ADC channel is not set to 0, because 0 means disabled. However, because the channels themselves are defined in the target file itself, and the target file itself is not part of the Inav repository because Radix is not supported officially by Inav, then you have to unfortunately ask the Brain FPV what is the default VBAT ADC channel for their flight controller, because I have no bloody idea. I just don't know. If it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it's 0, then try with one of those, or just like check every possible option you have right now. Maybe this is this. If none of the things I said to you is true, then I have no bloody idea what that might be. Then I don't think this is even Inav related. This is most probably Radix 2 related or your build related, and you really should talk to the Brain FPV customer support about that, because there are no other configurations that are doable in Inav. If those two, and from what you said right now, you have it sorted out, then it's really like your build. It's between you and Radix and the Brain FPV to figure that out. So Bonafide the Pirate says about the new Horizon that personally he likes it. Cool, a lot, which is even better. And I think you are going to post some video with it in a day or two. Amazing. That's actually amazing. If you really will, if the Julio will be able to resolve the problem with the non-GPS usage, when there is no GPS, that would be like fantastic, outstanding, super, super cool. That's that. Oh, I'm out of gin. And today was really like, ooh, very intense day. Not only I had my account hacked, YouTube channel hacked, I also had a nice bicycle ride, and now everything hurts. So the alcohol is actually kind of a nice change. Okay, and now, guys, because maybe we have some ladies. I know we had one lady during the stream, but I have no idea if Caroline is here still with us. What's up with you? How's your life? What's going on? What are your thoughts about the next flying season? Because in the northern hemisphere, the flying season is slowly coming up to the end. The days are getting shorter and wetter and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm planning to go flying tomorrow in the morning because I was not flying like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I need some reset time. And I know that the southern hemisphere is slowly starting to fly because you have spring now. We are coming to the winter and you have spring, so that's that. What's up? What's up? What's up? Any topics you would like to talk about? Because like I said, I'm out. I'm out of topics, and now it's up to you to keep this thing alive. Yeah, do-it-yourself stuff. At one point, I decided, yeah, flying gloves. I have problem with gloves. I don't like flying with gloves. Yeah, if it's not like if I have the option, I always prefer flying with my fingers. Doable, but and even the problem of wet is not that big of a problem because if you are not crashing, that's not really a problem. However, it's just too windy and like cold, so not. I'm old. I'm old. I like being in warm, and I never got liking flying from the car. I don't know why, but I don't like flying from the car. It's fully possible, but not. Matthias, who's coming up with the release names? It's either me or I ask a question on the live stream or I ask a question in my YouTube channel. It really depends, but usually I'm the one that has the last word in the terms of the release name. You have a problem with that? You don't like the ballistic buzzard or the red kite? I have not yet thought about the next release. But the rules are pretty simple. It's the name of the bird of the prey, or at least a big bird, because no idea which one will be chosen to the next release, and then a cool word. Like the ballistic buzzard. Ballistic buzzard, by the way, came ballistic for the buzzard came, I think, from the post in the YouTube channel. There was a poll with the options and like ballistic. It's nice. I like the ballistic option, so we have the ballistic option. Igor, how to explain that H743 controllers too hot when running Inav? No, just H723 is getting too hot. This is a big MCU, this pulls a lot of power, a lot of processing, and it's just getting hot. Not because running Inav, but just because it's getting hot. And because power conservation is not something that Inav is very interested in, that means that the flight controller is just running at the 100% capacity all the time. There is no power saving, like it's not shutting down some peripherals, something like that. You just have to live with that. You might add some heatsink if you want to, but I don't really care about that. If you have enough of the airflow over the flight controller, the natural airflow will just be 100% enough to cool this down. But H7s are not the only ones that are getting hot. The same applies to F7s and also F4s and in general, and you have no idea how much hot the first generation of the Omnibus F4 were. And the Airbots, the Airbots F4s, the Omnibus without the OSD, because they still had the linear voltage stabilization. So on 3S it was fine, on the 4S it was overheating, because the voltage stabilization based on LM7805 was just that hot that it was really hurting your fingers when you were trying to touch it. But that's a completely different stuff. Buddy Sky Cam joining a production team filming more action sport. Good for you! Flying, filming, and making money. That's the way to go. And that's absolutely the way to go. Bonafide Pirate next release name should be Thriving Trash. I think this is kind of like too complicated, too hard to pronounce for me, the Eastern European bloke. Blix Band Bits. I've been building an RC Explorer tricopter since forever. Yeah, I feel you. Trying to work out the awkward USB on the F405 wing. Would there be a more suitable wing FC to use? Must be 30 by 30 mounting. But why wing? You don't need wing. For the tricopter, you don't really need wing. And let's quickly, swiftly, promptly take a look at the Inav code and let's try figuring something out. Let's open the Inav repository. Let's go to the... Because this is an interesting question about tricopters. There's always a problem with the tricopters. You don't need wing flight controller, by the way. Most probably you don't. Absolutely. Big Boost FPV, yeah, you do need a second factor authentication. Always. This is one of the most important things in the IT right nowadays. Main target. SpeedyB Snow. You will not buy F722 SE, maybe something from Mambas. Mamba. Sorry, I have to switch to master. The latest Mambas. You can use the latest Mambas. For example, Mamba F722 that are using the target 2022A or B. You can get those, by the way. And you can connect the servo to the output number 5. No problem. Then you go motors 1, 2, 3. Skip the 4 and assign the servo to S5. And when using the tricopter mixing in the Inav, it will correctly assign the servo to this. That's my option. I would go that way. Of course, you will have to find the way to power the servo, because I would not connect the servo directly to the flight controller 5-volt stabilization, because this is probably just not designed to do so. But this is how I would go with this problem. Yes. But nah, I would not go with wing controllers. If you really would like to, but there are no wing controllers that are 30 by 30, really. This is I would not go with wing, and I would just install the separate back for the servo. They are not big, they are not expensive. You can get them for a few bucks. Let me show you something. That's the proof I have my pants on during the stream, by the way. You can get the back like that. This is the one from Diatone, but you can get them from Matek and other suppliers from the AliExpress. I buy them all the time. You can easily power a few servos from a small board like that. Just put it somewhere in the frame and you're done. You do not really have to worry about the Wing FC in this case, which I don't think is really the best way to do it. So just use the multicopter oriented flight controller that has the servo outputs, like for example the Mamba F722 or F405, 2022A or 2022B. Yeah, exactly, because in case of the F405 2022A, you can use also S5 as the servo output, and you are golden. No need to worry about anything else. Eric, Maiden. Nice. People love maidening stuff. Grzbietify. Recently, I found a video about drones detection and countermeasures by Kacper Szurek, but he glances to the FPV part. Does the DJI aeroscope also detects air units? I have no bloody idea. I never used the hardware like that. I'm afraid I cannot really help you with those super complicated questions. Sorry. On the other hand, you know what, guys? We still have 10 minutes, so if you want any topics to be covered today, then I do think that you have to hurry, because if not, but I love this lens. Bloody hell, I really love this lens. I'm finally not like taking half of the screen. I'm relatively small in the screen, although you can see too much of my room, because this is my bedroom. Also, you can see parts of the bed. But besides that, I love this lens. I really do love this lens. It's fantastic. I really do think it's fantastic lens, and this is the best lens for the streaming I ever had. 8mm for the win. Matthias, have a nice day. Woohoo! Morton Upshot picking the kid from the university 2 hours away. Oh, my older daughter started high school, and she has to commute to the high school. With bus like 40 minutes, and oh man, this thing is like, it's not working so often. It's been like 3 weeks of school, and I already had to save her like 3 times because something went wrong during the commuting. So that's crazy stuff. Buddy Sky FPV, 2 days of checking every wire, everything online, and bam, you saved me. So, what was it, man? What was the problem with the voltage going 0? What was really the problem? You really like share, because now I'm really intrigued of what really that might be and why this is working right now. It was not working before. Go, go, go. Because, you know, sometimes it's just worth to have like someone to talk about your problems. This really helps. It's in the development, we call it a rubber duck method. I have somewhere my rubber duck, but I have no idea where this is right now. If you have a problem and you cannot solve the problem, just get the rubber duck and explain the problem to the rubber duck. And most probably during the explanation to the rubber duck, you will find, oh, that's why it's not working. I know how to fix it. SV, guten Abend. But Skycam needs to be ADC 2. Yeah, so everything, now you see, it would be a good idea to tell the Brain FPV that they messed up, and it should be 2, but it's good. Ezalku, no Vital, nope. I mean, yes, you can have a tail seater, but no transition, no self-stabilization, so no Vital. And go with ArduPilot with Vital. If you want to have Vital, then really the ArduPilot is absolutely the best way for you to go. Bricks, Band Bits, yeah, absolutely go with this external back, should be the best way to go. Question, the last question about the tricopter, but more to do with noob navigating Inav GitHub. Did you pull request for servo feedback from RC Explorer group ever get added? No, because such a merge request was never proposed, so no. This Inav does not support this 4-wire servos that reports the actual position. Unfortunately, not. Fortunately, unfortunately, this is not really a thing. My advice, just get a better servo. Just good, fast servo, and it will be fine. Yeah. Bonafide Pirate didn't knew there was a name for that. I often explain problems to one of my people in my head and figure out in the process. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? This is a good thing. No, this is officially. If you ask the Google about the rubber duck, this is officially, this is called the rubber duck debugging. There's an even Wikipedia entry about that. You see, the rubber duck, perfect thing. I have the pirate rubber duck somewhere, but I have no idea where, but I have it. So yeah, that's the way to go. There are more, of course, crazy things that developers do to kill the time. Terminal insanity, yes, they do. The 4-wire servos work without the 4th wire connected, because the 4th wire is only the analog information of what's the current position of the servo. So this is not a problem. You are just losing the feedback. On the other hand, if you have a fast servo, then the difference between the control signal and the feedback is not that much. So it's just probably Blackies. Oh, Blackies, mate. Mark, what's up? My Blackies Tech account was banned from here by these scammer hacker bastards. Really? No. Let me quickly check the settings of my channel. This is in the settings or where? I have no idea. Uprawnienia, permissions, moderators. You are... Okay. Really? That's interesting. I have different people, of course, banned, because I do ban assholes. Oh, yeah! Man, you are banned. Yes, you are. Whoa. Luckily, they don't have access anymore, so you are unbanned, man. I'm just unbanning you. You are free to join now. But how? Well, I know how, because the account was hacked. But you are no longer banned. That's good. Man, figure out the better name. I would like to add you as a moderator, but now I can't. This is Biff routine. I will add you as the moderator, man. Man, you should have wrote to me about that. And now you are the moderator, by the way. You spam their chat. Luckily, they will not get the access to this channel anywhere. So, yeah, but man, you should have called me. By the way, I think it's a good idea that I give my phone number to some people that they call me, because a lot of people were writing me messages on Discord, on Messenger, on Instagram. But the phone is usually those notifications are off. So yeah, so most probably I will have to give my phone number to some of the people to kind of resolve this problem. And next time this thing will happen, I will get a phone call. Yeah, Paweł. Yeah, it is I. No, I should stop doing the German accent. By the way, I know that I'm right now, but one of the best sitcoms ever. If you don't know what Allo Allo is, then please do watch Allo Allo. I love it. I love it, and the way how Brits are pretending are speaking German is fantastic, outstanding. Like Allo Allo. Absolute classic. Absolutely. Yes, Mark, I'm spoiling the big news. I'm absolutely spoiling the big news, but don't worry, I will not be spoiling this thing big time. I will not be making any videos about this. I allow you to take all the fame. Oh, the portrait of the Madonna with the big boobies. In in Polish it was the Upadła Madonna z wielkim cycem. Lieutenant Gruber and his small tank. No, that's really classic. I will have to find somewhere the online access to this thing because this is like bloody amazing. This is really like half of the of my childhood was with the Alo Ano. Good stuff. Really like the good stuff. And I think it kind of holds the level of like the one of the best really like British sitcoms ever. This and most probably the Keeping Up the Appearances. I think this is how it's called in the original. Keeping Up the Appearances. Exactly this one. The Keeping Up the Appearances. I love it. I love Keeping Up the Appearances. So, like, come on, like awesome stuff. Yeah. Keeping Up the Appearances. Also, if you have not watched the Keeping Up Appearances, then please do watch it. Absolute beauty. Okay. Okay, gents and ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we will be slowly ending for today. 2 hours passed. It's 9 p.m. over here. I think I will have something to eat for the supper and do something else besides streaming. But I have to say that was one of the nicest stream ever. I really had a lot of fun today. I don't know if is it because of the actual fun or the gin with tonic actually made it much nicer. But definitely this stream helped me to blow off some steam and actually have a good nice really right. Lucky Stech, invite me. Because, you know, guys, without me hitting the merge button, it might be complicated. Yeah, I know Darren can merge. I know that Darren has the right permissions, but, you know, not having the agreement from the project's maintainer, that's not really the way to go. Anyhow, Red Dwarf. Not sure. I mean, I watched Red Dwarf, but somehow was not really convinced about the Red Dwarf. Yeah, it was funny sometimes, but not always. What are we going to do now? I have no bloody idea. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching, and until the next one. By the way, next week we will have, definitely we're gonna have the build stream, and we will be building this thing. You see? 1, 2, 3, and where's the 4th motor? And no, it's not a tricopter. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.